you know what? There's been a little bit of news. Before we get to the last 4 games of the season, there has been a little bit of news this year, or the last week, as far as the Husker football team is concerned. But before we get to some of that news, let's just take a look at Nebraska's NCAA rankings last year. Total offense, Nebraska was 20th. In total defense, they were 47th, which kind of surprised me. I thought they were a little higher than that, but it's okay. Keep those numbers in mind as we take a look at some of the teams that we're going to play over the next 4 games, the last 4 games of the season, because you'll be quite surprised how competitive in their rankings Nebraska was in 2021. But before we get there, let's take a look at some of that latest news. Coach Frost on Thursday in the Sports Nightly live stream named Casey Thompson as the starter at quarterback, which none of us are actually really surprised by that. The only thing that surprises me, Scott and Mike, is the fact that he named him like a week and a half, 2 weeks before the damn game. That's just not the Frost MO. So what do you guys think?
It was really odd.
It's he's clear. I think he's clear on who his quarterback's going to be, and I think that's pretty cool.
Well, if I can interrupt for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was reading an article on Sports Nation or wherever it was, and he was talking about rotating quarterbacks in and out through that Northwestern game.
It's possible, yeah. You're probably, especially if we get up on them early, you could see a couple of guys come in.
I'm assuming that we're just going to slaughter Northwestern, so I would assume that he would rotate quarterbacks out. But it'd be interesting to see how, if they do rotate them out, how everybody plays under pressure, especially being over in Ireland. You know, that's a big deal for anybody.
Right. How about you, Scott? What are your first impressions on that?
I thought it was just kind of, I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it's not Frost MO to just go out and say it right away, but I mean, it was kind of expected. Right. Like I said early in one of our other podcasts, the de facto starter was going to be Casey Thompson, and it would have been his job to lose. So it doesn't really surprise me, to be honest.
I'm just surprised, quite frankly, that he even announced it to begin with, that he didn't leave Northwestern in the dark, which kind of has been, but we've also talked about that on a previous podcast. How much of this secretive crap that Frost has been pulling for the last 4 years has worked? None of it.
None.
So why not let everybody know what's going on, right? Hey, this guy's going to run out against you. This is the guy that led the Big 12 in touchdown passes last year with a mangled freaking thumb that no hand surgeon on planet Earth would have let him play those games after he hurt his thumb. But he did, and he led the Big 12 in touchdowns. So does that mean he's going to do that in the Big 10? I have no damn clue, but it means he's pretty freaking scrappy and tough. So I'm ready to ride with Casey. I'm pretty happy about the fact that we've let everybody know who our starting quarterback is going to be. Now, I know, I'm sorry, some of this slide is not true because the black shirts were not announced on Saturday like I thought they would be, based on some of Frost's comments in that interview on Sports Nightly. But on Saturday, the captains were named. I did not fill them in on the slide. I'm sorry about that. But they are linebacker Nick Henrich, outside linebacker Garrett Nelson, Caleb Tanner, and Travis Vokalek at tight end. So we've got 3 probable black shirts that are captains, with 1 tight end who transferred in from Rutgers 3 years ago. So I'm not surprised by Nelson and Henrich, kind of. Or no, Nelson and Vokalek. I'm not surprised by those 2. Those are the 2 guys I thought would be on for sure. I am a little surprised that Henrich got the vote over Reimer, and Tanner got the vote over somebody else on offense.
Yeah,
but
that did seem a little bit
I kind of like
out
the mix. I like the fact that there's 2 Nebraska boys in there as leaders. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I thought it was strange that it was 3 defensive captains and 1 offensive captain. I would have just assumed that our starting quarterback, as it has been announced. Casey Thompson would have somehow found his way as a team captain.
Right.
But it's team vote, and
yeah.
That speaks volumes. What I'm mostly surprised about, and not even surprised, but pleasantly surprised about, is the fact that they voted Caleb Tanner as a captain. That just to contrast that from last season, he had a lot of penalties thrown his way because he got a little bit too chippy and a little bit too involved emotionally with certain situations. And to me, that speaks of character growth. That speaks to that his guys trust him, that they know that he's going to do the right thing when nobody's looking. Even though there's always going to be, tens of thousands of fans always looking at you.
Right.
And not to mention national media and all that stuff. But that's what was surprising to me. I wasn't expecting a Caleb Tanner to earn that. And the fact that he did, like I said, speaks volumes of character growth. And I'm honestly really proud of the guy for earning that merit. So yeah, let's see just an absolutely outrageously fired up Caleb Tanner this year. Like, oh man, like here we go.
You know what? It's not lost on me that two of the guys that were named captains are two of the guys that O'Shawn Mathis was brought in to, well, let's just say it. It's not popular to say. He was brought in to replace one of those two guys. But his teammates voted them to be captains as opposed to O'Shawn. Now, I will say this. My understanding is that Frost had made it clear to the team, anybody who transferred in who has not played a down yet in Nebraska as a Nebraska Cornhusker cannot be elected a captain. So I think that's important to note, that the reason somebody like O'Shawn Mathis wasn't elected was because he wasn't eligible to be elected according to the coach. And I appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. What do you think, Michael, as a brand new, newly minted Husker fan? What do you think of these new captains?
As a wee little Nebraska baby. Well,
what do you need to be burped? What the hell?
I am drinking some adult beverages that may require burping, but we'll worry about that later. The way I look at it is, it's a team vote as to who was the four captains, and so it has to speak a lot to these four guys. What are they doing off the field? What are they doing in the clubhouse? How are they at practice? Are they mentors? Are they leaders? Are they people that we're just sleeping on, because we don't see the type of character that they have, when they're not on the field? And obviously the character that you have in the locker room is going to be different than the guy that's out there, maybe catching the footballs to score the touchdowns. There's a lot of stuff I know that we don't see. So to me, it's a big honor. It's a big deal. And congratulations to all of them. I never got voted captain of anything.
Neither did I, so I'm really happy, especially
a lot
to
about
see
our character.
Well, yeah, I'm just happy to see two kids who grew up in this state, loving this program, get to be two captains of the program. I think it's awesome. Good Lord, I'm popping this microphone like crazy. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just going to move it a little. There we go. Hope that's better. Let's take a look here. Latest Big Ten news. We heard this earlier this week on a lot of the podcasts that Fox, CBS, NBC, the Big Ten Network, and Peacock streaming services have announced their media rights deal with the Big Ten to the tune of $7+ billion over the next 7 years. And that means there's no more Big Ten games on the ESPN family of properties. Thank God. They don't like the Big Ten anyway. So good. No more games on ABC or ESPN. The inclusion of NBC might finally bring Notre Dame into the fold in the Big Ten. It pretty much guarantees they're not going to join another conference that's not in this family of networks. And each team could be raking in up to $100 million per year by the end of the 7-year deal. Scott, this was what we were waiting to hear for the last couple of weeks. Everybody's been talking about it on all the shows like Hail Varsity and everybody else. I'm not surprised by this. Are you?
No, I'm not really surprised by it. Money talks, and so do royalties. And as we've seen, I think this is another cascading effect of NIL, weirdly enough, is that once the floodgates were opened to a higher degree when it came to funds being distributed down the food chain, even down to the individual player, we really are starting to see how that's affecting marketing and exposure, and I mean just on a game to game basis. And so us dropping ESPN and ABC, or I guess really ESPN and ABC not willing to foot the bill for what the Big Ten conference saw themselves in their value. I mean, tough nuts, it's fine. We'll just go get a good deal with these other guys, Fox, CBS, NBC, and Big Ten Network, and Peacock. Can't forget Peacock.
Right.
Like, they're going to pay more. See ya. Like, really, money talks. Money is the driver for a lot of this, and for almost all of it. And so it doesn't surprise me that things are changing in this landscape of finances specifically. So we'll see how it all plays out, but I'm not sad at all. I didn't particularly care for ESPN. The only thing that this means really is that the likelihood of game day showing up to a Big Ten game is not really going to happen unless it's a top 5 showdown between 2 top 5 teams. Like if it was an Ohio State and a Michigan, I wouldn't surprise me if game day still showed up to such a thing, because I mean, I don't know how that all is going to work out, but yeah, we'll see. Doesn't surprise me though.
Mike, you got an opinion on this?
So this might be totally out of my league, because I look at this as, oh, thank God I don't have to watch ESPN to watch Nebraska football.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like everybody's got their favorite broadcast team. I still miss John Madden every Saturday, or every Sunday. But like if he would still get out there and call games, that'd be great. And I look at it like that. Like I never enjoyed ESPN watching football, whether it be the NCAA or the NFL. So I'd take that away from this. So, it might be a really abstract opinion, but I'm happy about it.
Good.
All right.